Looking for news you can trust? Subscribe to our free newsletters. Wesley Bedrosian, the senator from California, looked like someone had punched the wind out of her. On an unseasonably cold January 10, the tense first day of hearings about President Donald Trump's nomination of Jeff Sessions as Attorney General, Dianne Feinstein was pallid, with deeper-than-usual divots beneath her eyes. Instead of one of her trademark colorful jackets, she wore all black. Privately and politically, the previous year had been tough. Her husband had been diagnosed with lung cancer, and her one-time Senate colleague Hillary Clinton had lost the battle for the White House to a man Feinstein considered beneath contempt. That morning, after protesters dressed as Ku Klux Klan members were dragged out of the hearing room, Feinstein first signaled her allegiance to Senate tradition, saying it wasn't easy to criticize a fellow member of the chamber. But then she laid out a formidable case against the Alabama senator and his history of abetting racism, approving torture, and battling abortion rights. "I am old enough to remember what it was like before Roe v. Wade," she said, recalling how, as a member of the California Women's Parole Board in the 1960s, she had sent women to prison for 10-year sentences for terminating pregnancies. And they still went back to it because the need was so great. Sessions, for his part, coldly affirmed that he saw Roe as one of the worst, colossally erroneous Supreme Court decisions of all time. Feinstein's committee chair was empty by the time the hearing moved on to questions about the potential connections between Russia and the Trump campaign. She had slipped away for surgery to install a pacemaker, a matter of some urgency, she told me. "I had to get it done quickly." But it wasn't just the device in her chest that marked a change of heart for Feinstein when she returned 2 days later. For decades, the Senate's most senior member had styled herself as the ultimate pragmatist, a veteran dealmaker willing to collaborate with Republicans to get things done. As she assured me in February, in one of half a dozen conversations we had over the past year, ideologically she saw herself as neither right nor left but focused merely on whether it's right or wrong. That's all. Now she faced a different challenge, a president whose election was, she had come to believe, in itself wrong. During the campaign, Feinstein, as the ranking Democratic member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, was one of the gang of 8 members of Congress who received classified national security briefings. In September, that group was told that the intelligence agencies had concluded that Russia was trying to interfere with the election in order to help Trump. Feinstein and her House counterpart, Rep. Adam Schiff, issued a startling joint public statement demanding that Vladimir Putin immediately order a halt to this activity. In our conversations, Feinstein fumed that the Obama administration had been too cautious in keeping vital information on this interference, which she still cannot legally disclose, under wraps. They should have been more forward-leaning and let people know what was going on before the election, she told me. Had the public known what she knew, Feinstein insists, it would have changed the outcome. "I deeply do believe it." Now, the Senate Intelligence Committee she once led is in charge of investigating the Russia connection, but, she warns, with insufficient resources and focus. Only 7 Senate staffers are assigned to the Russia probe. The 2014 Benghazi investigation in the House had 46. The committee's Republican chairman, Senator Richard Burr, RNC, has reportedly refused to sign key requests for information, such as documents from the Trump campaign. Feinstein turned 83 last summer. Her hair is still thick, her blue eyes penetrating, the toll of the years apparent in just a bit of unsteadiness in the knees. She is charming enough to often get people to say yes without asking. But, says one of her admirers, former CIA Director Leon Panetta, if she suspects you're not telling her the whole story, then she'll become your enemy. If she was braiding our hair and the rubber band broke or the ribbons weren't found, then it was like a major explosion, a total loss of control. People who know Feinstein say the election has been transformative for her. Trump injects an entirely new level of outrage. Orville Skell, director of the Center on U.S.-China Relations at the Asia Society and a longtime Feinstein friend, told me. With the president going after institutions that Feinstein has historically been aligned with, chief among them the intelligence establishment, Skell believes she will find a middle-of-the-road position increasingly untenable. Dianne is like the canary in the mine shaft, he says. The last bastion of bridge building in the Senate may be giving up. But burning a few bridges may